Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
When tragedy strikes a town, it's often on the community to return to the way things were. In this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom, we see how Father Gorman is being supported by the Lloydminster community after their playground was burned down.
Spearheaded by PV Mart's $5,000 donation, more local businesses have come forward to rebuild the Father Gorman playground with the intention of it being done this year.
And we were inspired. We went to our teachers and to our students, and we heard from them that what they really wanted was to make this playground wheelchair accessible for everyone, to make this a center of how inclusion and play can happen together.
Father Gorman is optimistic for the future, considering this a blank slate with the ability to make something better.
And now we're looking at, getting the funds for it. And we're fortunate because we've had lots of different businesses that have been involved so far. I think Mr. McCarthy's already spoken to you about some. And even just recently, I had a call from Iron Will Metalworks, and they've made a commitment too. So I'm really touched by how many people have reached out and they want to do this for our kids.
On top of Iron Will Metalworks and Synovus for $5,000, Westridge GMC for $2,500, and Home Hardware for $1,100, building material donations are also being supplied from other local businesses, as well as the City of Lloydminster themselves.
Having good, safe green spaces in our community is important. Not only to families but children and their development. Having the ability to get out and play it ultimately leads to positive development for kids.
Father Gorman knows it wouldn't be able to accomplish this massive task without the unwavering support from the community.
Father Gorman thinks of itself as a family, and it's times like this where that family really comes alive in our community.
And that's all for this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom.
At Lakeland College, our students go beyond the classroom for immersive, hands-on learning experiences. It's about experiencing the real world.
The weather in Lloydminster today is quite nice. No complaints here.
Yeah, considering what it was supposed to be like today, we were supposed to see lots of rain. We didn't end up getting any of that. That's been pushed later and later into the week here. But that cold temperatures are going to be coming eventually, though it's not going to be as bad as it's feared. We're still above 10 and looking at those 13, 15 temperatures, which is nice to see. And as long as the wind, I haven't used my Windy City of Lloydminster joke in a while, but as long as the wind isn't around, we will be having nice days here over this next little bit as we get closer and closer to fall in October and November. Taking a look at the almanac for today, high of 20 degrees, a low of 8. That's quite a bit better than the usual. A normal high of 16 and a low of 3. Today we're still sitting at 23.1 millimeters of rain. We would like to see a little bit more just to replenish those soil reserves and help out our producers, whether they're cattle or crop, for next year's harvest, as well as getting a little bit more pasture health out of those pastures for our cattle producers. Taking a look at Lloydminster Airport, they're sitting at 20 degrees right now. Lots of clouds out right now, but still a very nice day out here in the border city. North Battleford, though, is getting hit by that rain right now, 16 degrees, and they were very much feeling the rain, high humidity at 91%, and so rainy day out in North Battleford. Cold Lake, though, similar to us, just a little bit warmer at 23 degrees and a little bit of a mix of sun and cloud. So nice day out in Cold Lake. And we see across the region that Alberta certainly is a little bit warmer than certain parts of Saskatchewan today. Lloydminster at 20, as is Marwayne, and then 21 for Wainwright and Vermilion and Edmonton and St. Paul as well. Provo sitting at 19 today, and then 22 for Bonnyville and Vegreville. Cold Lake up at 23 as mentioned, and Lac La Biche at 20. The Saskatchewan side, we got Isle Cross also at 20 degrees, and then it's a little bit cooler everywhere else except for Pearceland at 21, and then 18 in St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, Maidstone, and Macklin, 19 in Green Lake, and then all the way down to 16 in North Battleford. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, we'll start in North Battleford. They're going to continue to see some occasional rain, a low of 11 degrees for tonight, and a little bit of drizzle as well, and it will be breezy late, 98% chance of that rain coming down, so definitely going to be seeing precipitation. Cold Lake has got a low of 7 for this evening and will be clearing up a bit, and very little chance of rain, so likely will not be seeing anything. And then in Lloydminster, it will be windy, and we should be seeing a bit of an occasional rain and a little bit of drizzle, 84% chance of precipitation, and a low of 8 degrees. Now taking a look at the 3-day forecast, we're going to see it's going to be breezy with some decreasing clouds on Thursday and a high of 19. It's going to cool off then on Friday down to a low of 14, and we are going to see an 84% chance of a shower or two. It's going to be cooler as well, as mentioned there. And then Saturday, we'll keep with that cooler temperature, 13 degrees, but it will be partly sunny and low of 4 for Saturday. So we are seeing that slow increase to that fall temperatures as mentioned, but it will be nice for tomorrow as long as it's not too bad with the wind. But that will do it for our first look at the weather forecast. I will have another extended look later on in the show, but for now we will show you some more news headlines.
The Lakeland Rustlers men's soccer team hosted the King's University Eagles for their first game at the VLA soccer fields for the 2024 season. Our Thomas Wildman has more on the exciting action.
The Lakeland College Rustlers were looking to build on their 2-game winning streak with their home opener. The Rustlers wasted no time with Nathan Tran scoring in the 3rd minute to give the Rustlers an early lead. They would hold on to that lead throughout the first half. In the second half, the Rustlers continued to hold on to the 1-0 lead, and Josh Mallon would score from distance to put the game away in the 77th minute. The Rustlers would continue to shut down the Eagles and would win the game 2-0, with Josh Mallon getting the player of the game for the Rustlers.
The one thing about our team I always like is we have this energy about us. We come into every game focused about what we've practiced in training. We have so much heart and we bring it to every single game. Today being our home opener, I think we had even a little bit more energy. And with the players that are in the crowd, the fans that come out, it's just one big community that really just brings everything to every game.
The win puts the Rustlers at 3 wins and 1 tie on the season and on the top of the ACAC North standings. The Rustlers can load up, as with only 2 teams making it to the ACAC playoffs in the North Division, every game matters, especially the division matchups.
There's 7 teams in the North Conference, only 2 make it. So every game is almost must win, especially when we drop points to Grand Prairie in our first game, because I think that we're a better squad than them. So, we've settled in nice. This was our first home game. We've had a lot of travel. I'm proud of the guys. I'm proud of our performance and how quickly mentally that the 18 new players are starting to show performance and change habits.
The Rustlers will look to continue their winning streak when they take on the Keano Huskies in a 2-game series here at the VLA soccer fields. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
The Lloydminster Concert Series Association is kicking off its new season next month. Stacey Comer has more information on the entertainers scheduled to perform at the Vic Juba Community Theatre.
I have a special guest today on Primetime Local News. Gwen Mottram is here. Gwen is a board member for the Lloydminster Concert Series. Gwen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me. We're so excited that our concert series is about to launch. It starts October 2nd.
Well, let's talk about that. What is the first show on the 2nd, Gwen?
The first show is Jack Semple. He's presenting a Gordon Lightfoot tribute. So it's going to be wonderful, a wonderful way to start the series.
And then let's go through some of the other acts that will be coming as part of the series as well, Gwen.
So the second performance is on October 28th. It has been chosen by our youth delegates. So they chose Blue Moon Marquee, and they are recent Juno Award winners. They have a blues sound with more of a swing element to it. So we're really excited about that one. The next performance is Jeffrey Straker. He's doing A Very Prairie Christmas. And then we have Rumor Mill, who are it's a group out of BC. They are folk pop indie group, and that's in February. In March, we have Kyle McCurney, and he is an alt country musician. I'm very excited for him. I think he's going to go places. And then we wrap up the season with Rum Ragged, and they're from Newfoundland, and they'll bring the party for the series.
Well, it sounds like you have a great lineup once again. And for people who are looking to buy tickets, there is a bit of a deal if you go with the subscription model. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's over 50% off if you buy the entire series. So it's an affordable price. It works out to be about $21 a ticket. So, and for youth, for any students, including Lakeland College students, the price is $5 per performance. So for the full series, it's $30.
And that is really reasonable, especially in times like today where the economy is causing problems for a lot of people. It's nice to be able to take a break and get that great entertainment. And as you said, at a really good price. Gwen, if people are looking to find information and to buy tickets and that sort of thing, where do they find all of that?
They can go to the theater's website, victubatheater.ca. They can call the box office at 870-872-7400. And they can also go to the concert series website, lloydconcert.ca.
Okay, and you have a couple of other initiatives. I know we were talking and you wear a lot of hats when it comes to a number of different things, but there's also a bit of a campaign to help certain things at the theater. Can you tell me about some of the other things that you're involved with in regards to that?
Right. So I also am involved with the Lloydminster Regional Theatre Foundation, and the concert series has as well donated to projects at the theater. And the latest initiative is moving lights. We need to replace the moving lights at the theater. They are and at the end of life. The cost is $150,000. So we are looking for donations for that. And people can go to the Lloydminster Theatre Foundation's website, lloydtheatrefoundation.ca, for more information about that. And if the concert series has a great year, we're hoping that the concert series can donate to that project as well.
And I guess it would be nice too if you could maybe find a local sponsor that would come up and take a big chunk of that for you as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is grant funding available if we can even raise half of it. So hopefully that will happen.
All right, Gwen. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you this morning. I really appreciate it. And once again, if you could just give the website for the concert series for those looking for tickets and that great deal on a subscription or if you're a student.
Right. So I would recommend that you go straight to the theater's website, victubatheater.ca.
All right. Thanks so much, Gwen, and have a great day.
Thank you.
It's time now to take a look at your adorable animals in our pet picks of the day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Children with parents going through divorce and separation are often negatively affected. Stacey Comer has more on how kids can be protected from some of these problems in this week's edition of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce.
It's that time of the week when Stephanie Dobson joins us. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hanka Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. It's time for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. Stephanie, thank you for joining me once again.
Thanks for having me, Stacey.
Well, this week, Stephanie, we are talking about the negative effects of divorce on kids. And as you know, it's very, very tough for kids of any age when their parents are going through divorce. So we're going to start with these tips to basically protect them and try and make things a little bit easier. So tip number one you have is open communication. So let's talk about that.
Right. It's really important to encourage your kids to express their feelings by fostering an environment where kids feel really comfortable sharing their feelings without that judgment. And you can, of course, do this. We all learn about active listening and using open-ended questions, avoiding the yes or no kind of questions can be really helpful. And reading stories together can really prompt some open communication with kids.
All right. And the next one is to maintain stability, consistency, and routine. I think that should be kind of obvious, but let's chat about it anyways.
Yeah, and we do talk about that a lot in when we're creating parenting plans, even for the longer term. But protecting kids, as it relates to protecting kids from the negative effects of divorce, we want to keep the kids' routines as consistent as possible to create that really predictable environment, and it helps kids feel secure when there's that uncertainty of divorce kind of spelling about in their minds and in their daily lives. Really, kids knowing what to expect can alleviate that anxiety and really promote resilience. So the routines provide that comforting framework that anchor children and improve their behavior.
Okay. And the next one, Stephanie, is to shield them from conflict.
Again, it goes without saying, we want to avoid arguing in front of the children. When the children witness conflict, it can really create feelings of anxiety and insecurity and can really create some stress in them. And it leads to behavioral issues like aggression, withdrawal, or even academic difficulties. And it can help to create a feeling of being torn in between two parents. So by contrast, when we shield them from conflict, it can really encourage that more open and trusting line of communication and healthy adaptation to the separation and divorce.
Okay. And tip number 4, Stephanie, is to reassure them.
Right. We're going to remind our kids that both parents love them and, of course, that the divorce is not their fault. So these are all easy and obvious things to do. It's really important, of course, to be age appropriate with the divorce when you're talking with them about it without overwhelming them with details. That honesty really helps to build trust and help them to feel secure. Again, going back to those books, that can be a really easy way to explain the divorce to them.
Okay. And the next one, this is very important, is quality time.
Right. And every child is going to have their particular love language. And especially if your child's love language is quality time, I encourage parents to spend individual time with the children, with each child, and with all of the children together, really ensuring that they feel valued and understood and making sure that they know that you have that time for them. Those positive experiences can really boost their mood and reinforce your bond with them.
Okay. And the next one is professional support. We have talked about this a little bit in the past, but let's just expand a little bit.
Yeah, so this is really where kids are significantly struggling. You can consider family counseling or a therapy to help them. A professional can really help children process their feelings and cope with changes.
Okay. And the next one is healthy co parenting.
Yeah, it's really important to work together with your former spouse to create that positive co-parenting relationship. You're really modeling that relationship for the kids, showing them what respect looks like, what good open communication looks like, and that creates an emotionally stable environment for the kids. Again, reducing that feeling of anxiety, insecurity, stress on the children.
Okay. And tip number 8, Stephanie, is to encourage relationships.
Fostering relationships, of course, with extended family and friends. I think we talked about that a little bit last week in our episode as well. It can really provide some emotional support to the kids, reinforcing that sense of belonging, familiar environment, and during this time of upheaval for the kids.
Okay. And the next one is to limit changes. Why is that such an important thing?
Well, again, it goes back to routine consistency and stability for the kids, really trying to minimize some significant changes for the kids. We talked a little bit in a previous episode about nesting, the idea of parents leaving the home and kids staying. If that's even possible, that can really help the kids to thrive. They do thrive on routine and familiarity, and it reduces their anxiety and stress.
Okay. And the last one, Stephanie, tip number 10 is to focus on the future.
Well, and this can help all of us really as parents and as children is to focus on the future, helping your children set and focus on positive goals for the future, which fosters a sense of hope and resilience and really helps them to know kind of what their future might look like. If you have an idea as a parent, what that might look like, are we moving homes? Am I going to go to a new school? What's that going to look like? And really, parents can highlight some of the positive aspects. So moving to a new home might be an exciting thing, or going to a new school might be an exciting thing. So trying to focus on that future can really be helpful.
All right, Stephanie. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Thanks, Stacey.
Coming up after the break, our Thomas Weilman will have another look at our evening weather forecast.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're just going to take a quick look at the future radar here. As you can see, we're going to be seeing some major systems moving through Saskatoon and Saskatchewan area. Again, just some small ones behind me here in Alberta, but we're going to be seeing these going around as the night and morning continues into tomorrow. A little bit, it's going to be mostly in Saskatoon that we are going to see a bit of that come up into Lloydminster, and we can see that it's a really big system there on the Saskatchewan side. As mentioned, just down south in Alberta, we are seeing a little bit of a system moving through there. Looking at the current temperatures across the central region, Lloydminster at 19 degrees now, Cold Lake at 22. We go out west, Edmonton, Red Deer at 21 degrees, Athabasca at 20, Edson at 20 as well, Whitecourt and Rocky Mountain House at 18, and then Jasper at 22. On the Saskatchewan side, Meadow Lake is sitting at 18 degrees with Prince Albert at 17, and then North Battleford, Saskatoon, and Melfort all at 16 degrees. Down south, we'll look here now. 23 for Moose Jaw, Estevan, and Regina. Swift Current sitting at 17, Yorkton at 19, and Kindersley at 15. On the Alberta side, Medicine Hat at 16 degrees right now, 22 for Coronation, 20 in Calgary, 21 for Lethbridge, and 17 in Banff. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast here in Lloydminster, 6 a.m. it's going to be cloudy and a high of 9 degrees. At noon, we're going to have a high of 15 degrees and some intermittent clouds. At 6 p.m., it'll be up to 17 and partly sunny, and then at midnight, it'll be partly cloudy with some showers and a high of 8 degrees. Taking a look now elsewhere, we'll start in North Battleford, a high of 20, and they're going to see a touch of morning rain, otherwise windy with some clouds yielding to some sun, 55% chance of that precipitation in the morning for North Battleford, but otherwise should be a nice day out there. Might be a little humid though, unfortunately. Cold Lake, it's going to be a high of 19, similar to these last few days for them, partly sunny and pleasant. Very low to basically no chance of rain for them out in Cold Lake, so nice to see that for them again. Now we'll take a look across the region here. We'll start in Meadow Lake. They're at 19 degrees, as is Bonnyville and Paradise Hill for tomorrow. Breezy with some decreasing clouds for them and clouds around the region as well. Provost at 20 degrees right now, with Isle La Crosse sitting at 18 degrees, partly sunny and nice. And then looking a little further away, Miriam is going to be at 19 degrees right now with Unity at 19 as well. Partly sunny and windy in Unity, a little bit pleasant with some sunny intervals in Miriam. Pearson at 20, as is Wainwright in Calgary. There's going to be a thunderstorm in Calgary for tomorrow in the afternoon, but Wainwright is going to be mostly sunny and breezy and similar in Pearson. It will be nice though there as well. And now taking a look at the extended 7-day forecast. On Sunday, it will be warming up again after those cooler days on Saturday and Friday. And then next Monday, we will see a lot of sun again there, 18 degrees, a little bit warmer on the low there as well. Tuesday, it's going to be mainly cloudy and warm all the way up to 23 degrees. So we are going to see a big increase as we get later into next week. And so that's really nice to see. 22 next Wednesday. It's going to be warm with some clouds and sun. So lots of clouds as the week goes on and into next week as well. And of course, that rain on Friday will put a little bit of a damper on the weekend, a cooler day on Saturday, but it will warm up once again on Sunday. So definitely a nice outlook for this next few weeks here in September as we come very close to the end of September and the beginning of fall.
Yeah, 84% chance on Friday, so it's going to be quite unavoidable there, most likely.
Well,
but
we've said that they're supposed to be raining for the last 2 days, and we've missed that. So yeah,
it is a 16% chance to not rain.
Yeah,
so who knows what'll happen?
Always never trust the numbers in some cases, but you should trust them every so often.
Who knows? Anyways, that's all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.